don't wanna be all by myself anymore.
Greetings, Cyberdogs and citizens of the internet. This is Rendog coming at you from the Griswold family apartments in this Let's Play Minecraft Survival series. In the previous episode, we were preparing the Mole District for some loving, and it has resulted in the birth of the very first pure blood Moltopian that you can see behind me standing precariously on that balcony. And in this episode, my friends, we're going to head over to the Cyberdog monument and work on a brand new design for the dome roof of the monument. So sit back and relax, my cyber diggity dogs. Let's play some Minecraft Survival. Now guys, unfortunately, I was unable to capture Griswold and Hippolyta getting busy in the previous episode. But literally, just as I finished the previous episode, I went back to the mole hole to get a few materials to do some maintenance work on these apartments. And as I came back, I spotted something going down in Chinatown, and Griswold and Hippolyta have made this really cute little kid over here, man. Look at him. He is so freaking cute. He's green. I'm not sure exactly what that means. I think he might be a farmer or a priest or something like that. I'm not entirely sure what green means for villagers, but he has been born, and he is the very first born villager of Mole City, and basically the very first born villager of, I don't know, of like the Rentopian realm, I guess. And that sort of makes him like the king, right? He's kind of like the child king. And that's what I think that his role will probably be. A lot of you guys have been asking me in the comments of the previous video, like, what role are you going to give this little guy? You know, if it was a guy or a girl. And I think maybe he should be like the mayor or the king or something. Just because, like, you know, like, I mean, he is the first villager to be born inside a mole city. And that is pretty awesome. And he's just sort of wandering around aimlessly right now. Not entirely sure what he's up to over there. But I'm really happy about that, and I'm really glad that I managed to catch that footage of them getting busy right at the end over there. Man, it was close. I thought that I would probably just completely miss that whole moment, but I'm really glad we managed to get that moment on tape. And I must say, I know that is kind of creepy. I mean, I basically filmed Griswold and Hippolyta getting busy. And I think in most societies I'd probably be arrested for that. But in Rentopia, it's okay. It's okay. We'll get away with it in this place, alright? We're a very liberal society, alright guys? But in this episode today, guys, I thought what we would do, I was going to work a little bit on the apartments, but I think I'm going to do this work off camera in a molehole maintenance episode. I'm really excited about getting to work on the roof of the monument, because I have managed to find a design for that roof that is exactly what I want it to look like. If you guys remember, a few episodes ago, we were trying to figure out how exactly we were going to build the roof. And I was struggling to find a design that was sort of round and also had a very shallow gradient. And a Cyberdog from South Africa, no less, sent me an email about a week ago with a design that he had tested out in Creative, and he'd taken a few screenshots of it and sent it to me via email. And as soon as I saw his design, my brain kicked into full gear, man. And I was like, hell yeah, that is exactly the kind of design that we need to use for the construction of the roof of the monument. So to that South African Cyberdog, he emailed me, dankie meneer, jou idee was baie goed, dankie. And that's Afrikaans, by the way, and probably really bad Afrikaans, which is a language from my country, South Africa. So yeah, for all of you Afrikaans South Africans there, I apologize for my terrible Afrikaans. Okay, I've been in England for like 8 years now, and I don't ever get to practice Afrikaans anymore. But anyway, thank you so much for sending me that idea, and I think that I've got a design that is going to work absolutely beautifully for the roof of the monument. And man, I was supposed to pick up some bone meal on my way to the mole hole, so let's quickly just head back to the storage warehouse. I picked up all of this glass, which I smelted down from that sand quarry in the Dogtown Desert, and that's because the entire roof of the Cyberdog monument is going to be made out of glass, so we need a ridiculous amount of glass. But what I want to do is use red glass this time. We've tried to use red glass in the balconies of the monument, but I don't know, I'm just not feeling that, man. I just don't like the way that red glass looks. But we do need to get some red up in that monument somewhere. Something has to be red, right? I mean, it is a Cyberdog monument, and our colors are red and white. So, you know, we definitely need some sort of redness in there. And we've already sort of like had a mess around with red stained clay. But I really don't like the way that red stained clay looks, so I don't really want to use that. And the only other option we really have is red glass or red glass panes. And I think we're going to be using red glass for the roof, because it's really difficult to make a roof out of paintage. But I picked up a whole bunch of bones over here. Let's just make a butt ton of bone meal. And now we can actually head into MudDog's greenhouse. And you know what I love about this greenhouse? It's actually more than just like a really sweet looking building, right? It actually has a function. And this greenhouse allows us to produce like colors, right? Say we need like dyes, or say we need different colored glasses. MudDog's greenhouse is not only like a dedicated building to my mama, but it is also something that we can actually use in the series, which is just freaking awesome, man. The same can't really be said for some things around around Rentopia, right? Although every building that we make kind of has like some sort of purpose. But I'm looking at old Big Mac's shrine over there, and that doesn't really do much, does it? It just holds a mushroom. That's okay. Oh, and you know what's also awesome, guys, about the fact that we have our brand new Multopian here, is the fact that the Christmas tree is still up. And that means before he matures, he would have seen a Christmas tree, so he wouldn't have missed his first ever Christmas tree. I think a Minecraft villager takes something like 20 minutes or so to mature. I think it takes like one full Minecraft day, so one full day and night, but in time, like the time that it takes to get through a day and a night, right? So even if you sleep, it doesn't speed up the maturation of the villager. So by the end of this episode, basically, that villager will be mature, and we will be able to see what they trade. And I've been trying to figure out like what we're going to call this villager, and I've been thinking that like I'm going to run this past you, right? Like, what do you guys think of this? I was thinking about naming him, like, basically naming him after one of my favorite sitcoms from the 90s. And I was thinking about naming him the Fresh Prince of Mole City. So basically, I want to name him after, like, Will Smith, right? So, like, if we named him Will, I think that'd be pretty sweet. The Fresh Prince of Mole City, man. That's what I'm talking about. But I don't know, that might be really lame. But yeah, I mean, guys, if you have ideas for his name, hit me up in the comment section below. I'll be watching the comments of this video to try to figure out a name for that guy. You know, the thing is, though, we've got so many new characters in Season 3. I think we kind of need to, like, slow down on adding new characters into this series for now. And this is why I'm kind of, like, I don't really want Griswold and Hippolyta to get busy again, right? Thing is, we have like more than enough names to remember already, man. We've got like a ridiculous amount of names to remember. In fact, I don't even know if I'd be able to name all of them. So I think what I'm going to do is like take down some of these doors, right? Just so that like Hippolyta and Griswold don't get getting busy again. Also, by the way, I blocked this off because I didn't want that little kid to like go running off the edge here and land on the railway tracks or something. Also, by the way, in Minecraft 1.8, which is coming out pretty soon, Mojang are changing the way that villagers work. And they're also changing the way that villagers trade. I think they're adding like way more trades for villagers and stuff like that. Hippolyta and Griswold, break it up, man. You've already got one new mouth to feed. Come on. There's no room for another baby around here. Take it easy. Damn. But anyway, there's going to be like a huge overhaul on how villagers function. And I basically don't want any new villagers until that overhaul is done, right? Because if Mojang are going to make villagers better, then any new villagers that we bring into Mole City, I think we want them to be like really awesome, right? We want them to be 1.8 villagers. So for now, I think we should like hold back on producing any more villagers. Also, another important note is that we need to get some name tags so that these original villagers that we have here, we can like separate them from all the other villages that will eventually live in Mole City. I mean, Mole City is going to have like hundreds of villages in it, but we definitely want to remember like old Griswold, Hippolyta, and the very first pure blood Multopian, right? So we need to get some name tags up in here before we get new villagers, because obviously like the new villagers that we get will look exactly like these villagers, and then we won't be able to tell them apart. So I think before there's any more business going down in Chinatown, we're going to get some new, some name tags and name our villages before there's any more loving going on in Mall City. But anyway, guys, enough dilly-dallying. Let's get to freaking business time for this episode. And that is creating a brand new domed roof for the Cyberdog monument. In the last time we were working on the monument, I had like this really weird design going on. Like the support pillars were doing this sort of really weird staggered upward build. And I don't know, I wasn't really feeling it that much, to be honest with you. It was looking kind of weird. It looked pretty good from far away, but when you came close up, I don't know, it just looked a bit weird. So what I've done now is I've changed the way that the dome actually looks and has been built. And the support frames now literally go only one up instead of one up and then two across and one up and two across like they did before. Excuse me. Man, there's a bit of coffee coming back up to say hello. But this build that was inspired by that Cyberdog that emailed me, you can see it has like a really shallow gradient, but it also has like a sort of dome-shaped gradient. And that's because at the start here, at like the base of the construction, we only go one block up before going 2 blocks across. So we go one block up, and then we start going 2 blocks across, 1 block up. And that makes this like really nice dome shape, I think. And it sort of, it gives the edge of the dome like a lip kind of thing. It gives it like a sort of sharpish end lip toward the end of it, which I think is really nice. And all in all, I'm pretty happy with this design. However, I built this one out of the glass that I used for this side. If you guys remember, we had the last sort of mock-up design on this side. And what I want to do today is just replicate this design over there, but using red glass instead, so we can actually see from a distance what red glass is going to look like in this design. And I think, guys, this is going to be the design we settle on. I mean, even from here, you can see it has like a really awesome little like domed gradient like this, right? And it's really awesome. And it's actually really easy to construct this design. At first, I was really worried about like how are we going to make it sort of go around? But all we've basically done, and this was the design from the Cyberdog, is just follow the gradient or follow the lines of the octagon, right? And the way that we do this is by just simply applying like quite a clever little design technique to build the diagonal side of this octagon over here, right? And that's basically just creating like an arrow shape from this position over here. So as you can see, we've got like a line of glass blocks going along here. So this is like position 1 for the production of the diagonal dome. And then every single time we do another layer of glass, we go one more block inwards, so like into the diagonal, right? And that creates like basically an arrow that ends in a final point up here, right? So like the point of the arrow would end like over here. But as you can see, it sort of goes in an arrow direction like this, in a triangular direction, and that allows us to follow the contour of the octagon. And then obviously the horizontal straights of the octagon just like keep straight. And the easy thing is that they all follow the same line like this, right? Check it out. It's just like one straight line all the way from the bottom of the horizontal like this, all the way up to the top. And then all you need to do is connect the diagonals. So that is really awesome. And that makes life a lot easier, actually, when creating this like dome-shaped design. And I think it's going to be pretty simple to make. If I can remember exactly how I did it, let's just make sure that we do this properly. So we've got a block of glass. This is like the first line of glass here that runs along the foundations of the roof. Then we go one up, and then another one up, and then we start going one across and one up, right? So we got to go up to, like, basically what we could do is like follow this design over here, right? So check it out, like this is going to be the very first diagonal line over here. And then what we can do is just lay down the lines of the horizontal like this, and this will give us like the perfect like foundation basically to follow the construction of the diagonal of the dome. Oh man, this is awesome. Like I always get, man, I'm always so like stoked and so happy with myself when I solve problems like this, especially design problems like this. When I first made this dome in that square shape, I honestly panicked. I was like, oh my goodness gracious, there's no ways I'm going to be able to fix this. And luckily we had bark, right? And luckily bark got like silk touch or so, because it meant that I could just take down the whole roof again and start again. But man, you know, this is why like I love playing Minecraft with you guys. Because like, even though I've been playing Minecraft for ages, for like, you know, I don't even know how many years now, 3 years, I guess. And I mean, I play more Minecraft than the average person, right? Like being a Minecraft YouTuber, I play Minecraft like between Feed the Beast and Minecraft. I would say that I play Minecraft and Feed the Beast between like, I don't know, like 2 and 3 hours a day, I guess, when I'm like full in the swing of fully recording every single day. So that's a lot of Minecraft, man. But still, sometimes I get stumped by designs, and I get stumped by techniques that I can't understand. And always, every single time, without fail, you guys have come to my rescue, man. And you know, this is why I love playing this game with you guys, and I love like interacting with you guys. And you know, like these days, I'm trying to like follow what you guys say much more. And basically, like when I read my comments on my YouTube videos or I read the feedback on Dogcraft, I'm always looking for ideas for designs and for like structural, I don't know, like, or a ton of you guys always spot like OCD stuff, right? That's another thing that I love about you guys. You guys will spot like one block out of place in some random location in Mall City. I love those comments. Like, those are some of my favorite comments, actually, because then I'll go and fix those. I'll like go and fix that up. But okay, so now we've got to the double block line over here, right? So now we're going to go one in. But the other comments and emails and feedback that I love from you guys is like your ideas. And there's a ton of you guys out there who are really active with sending me ideas. You guys go into a creative and you take screenshots and you do drawings of ideas and like changes to things that I could fix in Feed the Beast or in Minecraft. And you know, like most of the work that we've been doing in season 3 has been influenced by a lot of ideas coming from you guys, which is really awesome. And like, there's no doubt in my mind that I wouldn't have been able to come up with any of this stuff without you guys watching and without you guys commenting and emailing and all that stuff. So, you know, you guys are freaking sweet, man. Keep that jazz up. You guys make me very happy. But as you can see, guys, like making this roof design is actually really simple. Once you get this horizontal line laid in, it's kind of like I don't know, it makes like a really nice foundation for you to follow, and you can just like follow the pattern all the way up until it's done, which is exactly what we're going to do. And while I'm doing this, guys, I thought about telling you a really awesome story. Like, since the arrival of our Moltopian prince, I was thinking like a lot about, I guess, life. I know that sounds kind of weird, but I was thinking about like, I don't know, like birth and life in general, you know. And it sort of reminded me of something that happened to me when I was at high school. And this happened to me at a place that I've told you guys about before. I think I've told you guys about the stream that I used to block off in the winter to try and get the stream to overflow into like dried up canals that would dry up in the winter. So basically, I went to a boarding school, right, from the age of 12 to 18. And this boarding school was kind of in the middle of nowhere. It was kind of like in the mountains away from cities. And it was surrounded by forests and lakes and valleys and fields and stuff like that. It was basically the ultimate place to grow up if you are an adventurous 12-year-old like I was. And there was a valley there that was one of my favorite places to go. Well, this is completely wrong. This is completely wrong. And through the center of this valley ran a stream, and it wasn't like a really big stream. It was like small enough that you could step across it, right? But in the summertime, so in the rainy season, it would actually become really full, almost too full to be able to step across. So it was almost like, I don't know, a meter and a half across in the summertime. But in the wintertime, it would basically dry up completely. And the source of the water for the stream came from a mountain spring. And on Sundays, which is the day that we were allowed to go exploring and allowed to go do what we want, I used to like head off to this valley. Like, I had a ton of places at my school that I used to go to. I had forts all over the place. I had like various different like favorite spots that I would go hang out at, whether it was at the lake or in the forest or near the train tracks or like in the scrap heap of the school. I don't know. There was loads of places that I used to go hang out. But like in my first year at school, this stream that I found in this valley was one of the first places that I used to hang out at consistently because it was so beautiful, man. It was so natural. It was like a beautiful stream. And I used to follow the stream from the school. The stream used to run into one of the lakes that surrounded the school, or was out on the outskirts of the school. And I used to follow the stream all the way up to its source, because the source was basically like in the side of this mountain coming out of a cave, basically. And I used to go all the way to the source of the stream, and I used to try and catch the water in bottles, and I would drink the water. I would take the water back to my room and drink it. It was crystal clear. It was absolutely beautiful water, man. It was like some of the best water I've ever had. And still to this day, I don't think I've ever found water that awesome. So I used to go there quite a lot, and in the winter months, the stream would dry up completely, and in the summer it would overflow. And when it would overflow, the water would actually, like the stream was basically had three fingers, right? It had one central main finger, and then it had two smaller fingers that branched off at this sort of this junction area of the stream. And and in the winter months, the two like side fingers wouldn't flow, right? Because there wouldn't be enough water for them to flow. So they would literally like completely dry up, and only the main canal would actually flow. And one winter, I decided that I was going to change that, man. I was going to plug up that junction and stop the flow of the main canal and reopen the winter canals, right? Or the summer overflow canals, I guess we can call them. And what I thought to myself is that like I would actually speed up evolution or something, because all of the insects and stuff that were currently existing in the dried up winter overflow canals would suddenly have water like flowing over them, and I don't know, it would spur on evolution or something like that. I distinctly remember thinking that, and yeah, probably really stupid thoughts, but I was 12, okay? And and I've told you guys this story before, but like it took me a couple of Sundays to work out exactly how I was going to do this, but eventually I actually dammed off that little river at its junction, and I opened up the flow into the winter overflow canals, right? I'm just going to make like a few. What do we need over here, man? We need some chiseled. Yeah, we need some chiseled quartz. Yeah, we need a ton of chiseled quartz actually. Probably make a bit more. And I probably shouldn't have done what I did, because I was probably like messing with nature. You know, those winter canals are not supposed to be flowing in winter, and there's probably like insects and stuff that had buried their eggs and whatever deep under that water, waiting for the water to come in summer and stuff. So I probably destroyed like an entire ecology. But in my brain, I was doing something good, okay? And I blocked off this junction basically so that I could get these winter canals to flow again. And it took me a good couple of Sundays to do that. The first time I did it, I just literally used like a ridiculous amount of soil and leaves and sticks, and I even used like tin and plastic and just a whole bunch of garbage to try and just bung up that that junction, right? 1, 2, 3, and then we go in. Just checking how to make these things. But like by the third Sunday, like the second Sunday I went back and it hadn't worked, right? Like the dam wall that I'd set up the Sunday before had literally like broken down, and the river was just flowing again like normal. So the next Sunday I tried again, but this time I tried to pack it down really tightly. I remember like getting some clay. I found some clay on the side of that junction. I basically dug out like a whole bit, like cache of clay basically. And then I packed it in. I tried to make like a really, really hard dam wall, right? I thought that might work. Of course it didn't. The water would basically build up pressure behind this wall, and then it would just break it, right? And eventually what I figured out was that what I needed to do was actually allow the water to flow through the dam wall slightly. Like as long as there was a little bit, if there was a release of pressure, then it would actually work out like perfectly, right? So that's exactly what I did on the third Sunday. I went to the scrap heap of the school and I found some, what the jazz? Have I messed this up? I think I messed this one up. I think I may have messed this up. Anyway, I'm going to try fix it. But yeah, at the scrap heap, I found like a piece of pipe, like plumbing pipe or whatever. And the third time that I actually made that wall, I made it properly. And it had like a proper like water overflow, which was awesome. And it looks like I have messed this up actually. Man, I'm such a noob. Yeah, I have messed it up. Alright. Well, my bad. Looks like we're just going to have to collect all of this glass like this. So anyway, yes, so by the third Sunday, I had successfully like blocked up this junction and opened up the winter passageways of the stream, and the water started flowing freely through the stream, and it was awesome. It was an awesome day for me. But in the process of doing all of this blocking and messing around with this junction, I had kind of like flattened the land surrounding the junction. And all of the sort of like river plants and the stream plants that had been growing there, I had sort of destroyed, right? And they kind of stopped growing, basically. And let's just make sure I'm doing this right this time. Yeah, I think we're gonna go in like this, right? And I basically made like a very fertile bank running along these junctions, right? It was kind of like a miniature Nile Delta, I guess. A very, very fertile bit of land, because I'd churned up all of the soil. So I'd like churned up all of the topsoil. I'd also like brought all of this fresh flowing water from somewhere, you know, that was suddenly needed somewhere to go and was flowing like really, really, you know, hard, I guess. And that was probably my bad. Again, like totally messing with the ecology of the place. And what in the jazz is going on here, man? I'm pretty 100% sure I've totally messed this up. So yes, so I'd made like the banks of this little stream extremely fertile, right? And one day, like once I'd actually dammed it off and I'd started the flow of the winter canals, I was like super happy, man. I felt like a I don't know, like a god, I guess. I'd like changed the fate of the stream, you know. And I used to then I went there a lot. Like I used to go there all the time after that, because I wanted to see the progress, right? I wanted to see like how my stream was progressing. I wanted to see like all the insects that were suddenly being born there and everything that was happening there. And I just wanted to like see anything and everything that was going on. And one Sunday I returned to find something really, really weird, like really, really weird. Suddenly, there were these really big plants that had suddenly popped up, that were growing along this, like at the junction. They were growing in between, like all of the delta of the stream that I'd created, right? And there was like 3 of them, if I remember correctly. And they were like definitely not like brand new plants. You know what I mean? Like they are definitely, I don't know, when I look back at it now, like someone had planted them there, right? But at the time, I just thought, oh my goodness, like my stream is so fertile that plants literally grow from a seed into like a plant that was probably like 2 or 3 foot high, right? I'm like a genius botanist, man. I should be like an ecologist or something. But now that I look back at it, it's like someone had actually planted them there. And the reason that it's funny is because I didn't actually realize what kind of plants they were. I was 12, okay, so I had no idea like what kind of plants these like someone had planted on my delta. So obviously some farmer, right, of these certain types of plants had found my delta and thought, wow, this is actually a really fertile place. Like this is a good supply of water. There's a lot of sun in here. Like it's in the middle of the valley. No one's gonna find it. This is a perfect place to plant these plants. And they had planted these plants there. Now, the Sunday that I found these first 3 plants, I was really excited, right? The next Sunday when I went back, there was like 2 more plants. So the original 3 had grown higher, and like 2 more like young ones had arrived. And suddenly I thought to myself, oh my goodness, this is insane. This is completely insane, man. My stream is the most fertile stream in all the land. And I remember I went back to school that evening, and I went to find my my biology teacher to tell him about it. And he was quite excited. He was like, oh, I'm quite interested to see what you've done. And he asked me to take him to this delta the next Sunday so that he could see like the work that I'd done. He was like a huge gardener, right? Like he used to do tons of planting all around the school. And I think he probably wanted to now that I think back on it, he probably wanted to see the damage that I'd done to the Delta and see if he could undo it. that was probably his real intention, to be honest. But that's okay. So the next Sunday, I actually took him to the Delta to show him the plants, and I remember the look on his face when he arrived at that Delta, and he he was basically like a hippie, right? He had super long hair and a huge beard. He was he loved like animals and plants and stuff. He was a big time hippie. But as he walked up to these plants, I don't know, it was almost like a look of recognition or something went over his face, and he was really shocked, and he was like, "Oh no, we can't have these plants here. These plants can't be growing here. These are very bad for the ecology. We can't have them here." And he basically ripped them out of the ground, out of the Delta, and took them away. And I always thought to myself, you know, at the time, I thought that they were maybe like weeds or something that would damage the ecology or something like that, right? So I didn't think much of it. But I spoke to him about it like a few years later. I wanted to ask him exactly, you know, I said to him, "Do you remember those plants that you ripped out?" And he was like, "Yeah, I remember them. Those were some illegal tobacco plants. And that's why I had to take them out. Like, we can't have illegal tobacco growing in the school. So I'm sorry that I had to take them out, but at the time I had to take them out." And I was like, okay, that makes sense. So it was crazy, man. It was a crazy time because, like, in my 12-year-old brain, I had made this, like, super fertile valley. And then some farmer had like spotted this and thought it was like a lucrative opportunity for him to plant his illegal tobacco plants, and he'd taken advantage basically of my hard work to grow his plants. And I guess it's probably lucky that I took my biology teacher there and he found them. Like, maybe I would have got into trouble if I had been discovered with those plants or something like that, you know. But anyway, that's basically the story that I wanted to tell you guys. And I've finished the dome now, and I think we did it correctly. I'm going to have to go check for symmetry. But that's looking kind of rad, man. Like, it's not looking exactly how it should because there's dirt behind the red glass. But I'm really loving the gradient, right? I really love how that gradient looks. Like, that is really super awesome. And I think what we should do is get like a bit of height on this to have a look at exactly what it looks like. So why don't we head up to let's head up to the life tree. I think that we always get a really good view from up there. Let's head up to the life tree and we'll actually have a look at what the gradient of the dome looks like. But I'm happy with that, man. Like, this gradient design is so much better than the last time that I did this. Like, way better. About a million times better, I reckon. By my calculations, 1 million times better. Alright, we can't quite see it from here, so let's get onto the roof of the mob spawner. There we go, man. Yeah, that's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. That is exactly how I envisioned the roof of the monument to look. Like, look at that, man. That is a thing of beauty. And once we get rid of the dirt and stuff, then it's really going to look good. And I really like the red. I think the red works really well for the roof. Alright, sweet, guys. Well, that's my task for this week, man. I'm going to be making a freaking roof for the Cyberdog monument all week long. It's probably going to take me ages. And I'll probably put some of it into molehole maintenance or something too, guys. But I really hope you enjoyed this episode. Really hope you enjoyed the story that I told you. And man, it was pretty crazy times. But yeah, that's it for today, guys. And hopefully in the next episode, our brand new Moltopian will have matured and we'll be able to figure out exactly what they trade and thus assign a role to him. And I think he's probably going to become the mayor of Mole City. I think that'll suit him best. But I'm going to end the episode here, guys. It's been a pretty long one already, and I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, you hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, you hit that subscribe button. This has been Rendog playing Minecraft Survival. Can't wait to see you in the next episode, guys. Hopefully the roof of the Cyberdog monument will be done by then, and we will see you in the next video. Goodbye, my friends!